Okay, down. We'll do a little bit of warming up, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of ukemi work, and then just go into some jaw work. Just go straight into this kind of working for a wave. Right through the body, up and out. Nice and soft. Lean into the body. A few deep breaths as you do as well. Nice, fully in, fully out. Okay, just lengthen it up, nice deep breath in. A little bit out to the back, and then bend in the knees, all the way down. The spine extend, curl the body up, back to the center line, up through the feet, through the center, and then up again. Fully in and out. Let's make it a little bit more dynamic. Just the last one, real slow. Slowly up, fully deep breath in. Full extension, and really slow, the last one, all the way down. Just hold it a little bit at the end, so real slow. Let the breath just exit the body, so it's not kind of forced out, just as if you're kind of, as if it's like steam off the body. Just let it go. You reach the ground with the hands. Just let all the breath exit from the body. And then as you feel the urge to breathe in, you start to come up. Let the breath bring you up. And back to the middle again. Just take a few take a few natural breaths, not deep breaths. Let's go. And then we'll just go to the side. Again, stretch right up. Way over. The first 4, do them where you're going to be on this leg, so the stretching leg out. Push into that leg, let the other leg kind of loosen. And coming back, stretch up, over, you're going to put the weight on the front leg. And again, stretching up that leg. This toe's pretty light, almost coming out of the ground. Coming back. Breathing as you do it. And as you go to this side again, press into the other foot. So you're going to press into this foot, keep it down. So you're going to stretch right across. You want to make like a bow with the body. Really pressing that back foot in. Back. And again, just stabilize that leg. Keep it pressing down. As if you're pulling the hip and the hand apart. And the foot. So really stretching the whole body out. And it's not about range of motion, it's just trying to stretch and open the body up. So that's one more. And just one more this side, stretching up. And nice and slow release it. Okay, good. We did a little bit of a spiral, so what I want to do is take 1 foot forward, kind of a light lunge, not too wide. And what I want to do is stretch up with the hands. You can lace them together, or you can just kind of press them together. Just here, and the key thing now is just start to spiral away from the body. So if the right leg is forward, you're going to spiral over to the right side. And the idea is to spiral away from the back foot. So you're going to go here, and again, it's like the hips, the hands pull apart, and it's like the hips and the feet kind of pull apart as well. Just feel as you go over. Just hold it. Do a few deep breaths as you hold the position. Nice spiral around the body. If you feel a bit unstable, that's also quite good. Just you should almost feel like you're falling over as you do it. Just take a few deep breaths in that position, and then just slowly come back to the center. Really slowly. Change the leg. Just again, you've got this kind of, what you want is like square hips, so you don't want quite triangular hips like we do in Aikido, but just square in. Stretching up, opening out, and then just spiraling. And the spiral is really coming from the back foot, so the whole body's going to follow that. As you feel comfortable, just start to spiral it more and more. A few deep breaths in. And just coming back to the center again. Okay. Shake the body out a little bit. Let's check in all the joints. Okay, we're just going to go down to the ground, a little bit of a kemi work. So just come into this classic position here. So you've got one leg tucked, one leg up. You're just going to use the hands, so really coming down, rolling, coming up, rolling, coming up, rolling, coming up. I'm going to do about 50, so do them at your own pace. I'm going to get to 50 and then stop, so you can follow my pace or follow your own. Just 50 of them, so yeah. Just keep a nice even rhythm. If you go fast, go all fast. Go slow, go all slow. Keep the breath going. Really use maximum contact with the mat. This opportunity also really, it's like a massage for the back, and it's also allowing you to really get into the hip, especially if you come forward into the hip. As you come up, really take this chance, really. Movement's really, really great for the body. About 25, about halfway. That's about 5 more. And 5. Good. And just stop and just come back up to the top. Oh, to the ground. Take a few breaths. Okay, just take a Joe. We're gonna go straight into some kind of complex stuff. So if you've got a short Joe, take it. But I'm just going to start with the medium one. So if you've got a really low ceiling, you might need to adapt it. So I'm going to give you, I've also got a low ceiling, so I'm going to adapt the movements to fit. But if you've got a short Joe, just keep it kind of handy. The first ones you'll be able to do with a on the sides, but you might want to keep a short one handy. Okay. Okay, good. We'll just go straight into AIKIKAI. It's from here, just playing with Zengo. So just front, roll to the back. Press in, roll to the back. Yeah. Nice and focused, really clear. Just take your time with it. Okay, so just see if you can notice there's always a thing where if I'm doing a combination movement, that I'm putting myself in a position where I can only go to the other way. So I can only turn after the movement. So it's like locking the body up into a pattern. And the idea with all this combination work is actually the opposite, is to like give the body freedom to be able to move anywhere later. But we fix it to a form so that it gives you freedom. So just feel it sometimes, in this case, go like this, a really simple way. Sometimes rotate to the back after the ski. And sometimes just make another ski. Sometimes make two. Now I should be able to go here. I should be able to go here. They're actually based on the same root of the body. There and there. But sometimes I can start to load the movement to the front, or not really load it so I can. So just play with it a little bit and kind of trick yourself out. Sometimes think I'm going to rotate and then just go for the ski. So sometimes do two, sometimes do one. You can also do none. You can just rotate back. You should be totally free to just move. Just play a little bit with the form. So a really simple way to play with the form, but see if you can catch the body out. That's it. Got it. Got it. Whoosh. Good, and then just introduce this combination. So you're going to go now to the front, and then choose. You can also go to the back. So just the first few jigs, just get this because there's a different combination. Just let it go to the front, to the back, and then rotate through it. So it goes 1, 2, 3. Just decide your own pace with it. So if you want to go fast, go fast. If you want to go a bit slower. Let's see how comfortable you feel with it. Speed's a good test on the system. How much how well I'm using the system. So speed has value, as long as I don't get lost in speed. That's it, nice. That's it. So there's always this tricky problem. Do I look? Do I not look? And I can also see in the people that don't look, there's also tension in like, should I look or not? And there's the people, and I'm not sure. Do I look or not? So just, there's a great quote. If you look at the original Budo book that Ueshiba printed, he talks about Shirowaza and the value of a Shirowaza. I'm a bit paraphrasing it, but he talks about you're training a sixth sense. So you're training an awareness of something behind you. If you look at all these Shirowaza we do, all of them involve not looking back. So I just move into the position. Just move into the position. So I just move into the position, but they don't involve first going, clocking the person and then moving. You're already gone. So you've already been caught. So the same thing applies here. I want to practice like I've got this, and then there's just something behind me, and I want to just press the body back. Now the head follows that movement, but it doesn't initiate it. Oh, there's someone behind me. Bam, and then go. Try and get a feeling where it's like you're training something's behind me, and I go into it. That's the kind of quality you want in this kind of movement. So it's not initiated by the head for sure, and it's not a kind of, I don't clock the person visually first. It's a feeling behind something. Work on that kind of level where you just feel, and I just take everything and I meet the whole body with it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good. That's it. Yeah, and if you go really into detail with this, in terms of the way you're looking or what you're looking at here, it's still kind of peripheral. So my vision is peripheral to the back. It's not fully like this way. When you go fully like that is when you initiate the rotation. So the rotation comes, and then the whole body goes that way. So just break that part down, because just look at how you look with the eyes. Look at what you're actually seeing with the body. So it's like this, then you go here, and it's quite peripheral. And then from here, I roll the whole body back to it. And then I meet it. This way. And that rotation has much more of a big rotation. It's got much more feeling to it. The whole body's going to go into the rotation. So. And again, just try this. It's a way to a little bit disrupt the form, or what I'm trying to. I'm not trying to break the form. What I'm trying to do is disrupt my habits of doing the form, and I do that by basically splitting some parts off or removing some parts. So it's not about breaking the form at all. So, but just get a sense like sometimes you can just do this. You can just draw the body back and forget the jaw. So all the movements, just think that you can just abandon the movement with the jaw, because it's not what I'm actually training. Fundamentally, I'm training the whole body to do it. So I can do the movement with or without the jaw. It's fundamentally the same. So just play on this level where I'm really fundamentally training center and the connection work. And that connection work fundamentally is going to start here to this. And then later it spreads to the hand. And then later it spreads to the hands of the jaw. So really just get the idea that you can just move everything around the center. That's what will give you freedom. Just to be able to turn on an axis point and go boom, no, boom, next, boom, next. But just play a little bit with tricking the body. Sometimes just drop the movement with the jaw. That's it. And just watch what, yeah. Okay. So what I don't want to use the jaw is like a crutch. So I don't want to be leaning the body into it. So we don't use, this is one way to use connection work. It's quite a functional way of using the body. I can lean into things with the body. So it's quite a good way of connecting to something. By leaning into it, it takes a lot of effort. And if this thing disappears, well, you fall too. So you sacrifice your balance. So it's a way of connecting that's a bit inefficient in the end. No, actually, it's really inefficient, but it's a high risk. So I'm leaning my structure in. It's very high risk. As soon as that goes, boom, the prop's gone. So watch when you do this. If I'm really going into the jaw this way, as I initiate this move, boom, it starts to break the body up into pieces. So really feel that you're connecting with the jaw from a stable center. That's like fundamental to us. So really get the sense that everything you're doing is coming out from a firm, balanced center. That again, that's what will give you a freedom to just be able to move by not leaning on anything. On the ground, you're falling into the ground. That's another story. But don't lean into the jaw, basically. Don't rely on the jaw either. It's nothing to do with the jaw, really. Yeah, good. That's it. That's it. Good. Right. Nice. Okay, just work with Gerangaishi, and you just this time you're just changing sides. So you're just going to go ski, rolling back, Gerangaishi, and then just come back into the kamae. So you go 1, back, rolling back. 1, 2, 3, back to kamae. 1, 2, 3, back to kamae. So just working with ski Gerangaishi both sides. So it's like you were doing the full saburi, but you're just coming back to kamae each time, and then you end up on the other side. That's it. Good. Yes. But just try one thing again. Don't rely on the jaw to do it. One of the problems with this movement, you from this position, is to get pulled back by the jaw. So the jaw's going back, everything pulls back in the body. Get a sense that as you're going back, what you're actually doing is extending, feeling forward. So there's something that reaches out forward. Now that's not in that arms. It's in the kind of the mind I've got. So it's like everything goes forward. If I get drawn out by that, somewhere here, the form's leaking totally. So try and get a sense that there's no leakage in the form. It's just here, and then I roll back. My intention stays forward, and my feeling stays forward. It's just the jaw that's going to the back here, but it's not the whole structure. So just get the sense that you're going to enter into a coil. 1, there. Now this is really like loaded forward, not off balance, but it's engaged in a movement where I'm going to go. I'm going to snap forward into it. So just get that kind of feeling. So this is really like a preparatory movement for a kind of forward surging attack. That's it. Yeah, good. Good. That's it. Nice. Okay. We're going to look at Hasso tonight, but actually what the training does in the Saburi, there's a really nice logic to the system. It trains qualities of movement before it goes into like advanced levels. So one of the qualities Gerangaishi is really good for, if I can access it, is a flexibility in the joint system. So if I do the movement without flexibility, it looks something like this. So the whole joint system just moves like this. What I want to, there's one of the qualities I want to train in the Gerangaishi is like a flexibility. And that's a flexibility between the hips, the hands and the elbows. So there's something flexible in it. So just see if you can let the movement breathe through the system. So it's got this kind of quality, but it's not a kind of rigid that. This is okay. It's the kind of first step, but see if you can get something a bit more flexible. So all the movement has a kind of flexibility to them. The end, the snap, the impact is quite but the movement through that is like really phrased, flexible movement. It's got really flexible nature. That's it. That's it. Boom. Good. Good. That's it. Good. I said this, I think, in the workshop on the Sunday in terms of the wave work flexibility. It's really just a case of not going like training A to B. So I've got like Gerangaishi, I go from this point to this point. It's really about like enjoy that space in the movement, enjoy that flexibility in the movement, and don't feel you're totally attached to finishing going to B. So don't always feel you need to go to Gerangaishi. You don't always need to make the strike. I know sometimes we get taken over in the dojo. Everyone's doing Gerangaishi, but really, I don't. It's not like I'm doing my own thing, but I'm really playing with the form where I want to really find something that's flexible, free, but really feel again like I don't really rely on the Joe to do it. So really go to the level where you're able to just, it's not breaking the form. Again, it's breaking my relationship to the form. That's what I want to kind of break. So I want to get out of a lot of my bad habits of doing it. And the only way to do that for me, or the best way to do that for me, is like break the form down. Really take it apart. So, sometimes do it with the body, sometimes do it with the Joe, sometimes let the strike go totally, and sometimes just don't even go anywhere. Just stay where you are. Just freedom of movement also means I don't also need to go anywhere. So sometimes I move, sometimes I don't. And that's real freedom when I can choose. Good. Yeah. There we go. Got it. You got it. Just play with it. So we'll just do one more movement and then we'll go into the Hasso work. So what I want you to do is start just going to get into Jorangaishi. So come through, up, striking down. Now, if you want in this form, you can also just rotate to the back. So you can do it in like a Zengo, but it's always going to be left side, right side. That, in this case, I release the hand and then I slide it down that way. You got that. So you do 1, 2, 3, rotate. 1, 2, 3, rotate. 1, 2, 3, rotate. Oh. H. Oh. There we go. Nice. And again, you don't need me to tell you. Also play with the form. So again, sometimes when you do this, just pass the body through. So really think again, just go back to what am I really training all the time? All the time I have this question in my mind. What am I really training? What's the point? Why am I doing this movement? What is the point? Now I can do endless amounts of ski work, but it's not the point really, fundamentally. So I can just go into ski work, but I need to know like, what am I really training? What's the point of the movement? Now for me, it's like training the body, it's training all these principles, all that kind of stuff. So it's fundamentally not about the Joe. It's about a relationship with the Joe, but it's not really about the Joe itself. So just get a sense that you can choose. I can make the strike. I can also just not go anywhere. Sometimes just drop it. So just play with it on that level. The main things that you feel like comfortable with it. So, and if you have a kind of doubt about it, that's also a good sign. I've got a doubt about this movement. What am I really doing? Follow that and listen to that voice. Listen to what it's saying. It's going to tell you something about it. Good. Nice. That's it. And when you kind of break the movement like this a little bit, or I break my relationship to the form, when I go into the form where I go like, whoa, that was the movement. This is like really valuable training. When you kind of entered into it like naturally, boom, boom, then it happens. That's really powerful. Otherwise, I'm just forcing myself all the time to do the movement. Also has a power, also very useful, but sometimes gets a bit stuck. So going back to like, what is my body doing? Why am I doing this? What am I here for? Really, really useful. Got it. Got it. And I go to this. If you've got a slightly shorter stick, you might want to use it now. You can play with it because we're going to go now. I'm just going to go into Hayagaishi. So what I want to do is go ski, Hayagaishi, just nice and slow. Just going to go here, ski, Hayagaishi. And I find this because the movement is a bit rounder, I want to feel a bit more free. So I don't want to feel kind of cramped and worried about that I'm going to hit the ceiling. So for me, I use a shorter stick to do this kind of. It gives me more security in the form. So I'm going to go whoa, and then back. And you can choose in this case. You can do this also in a Zengo way. So you can do it like front and back as we did before. Also a nice practice coming here, there, roll into the back. Here, there, roll into the back. Here, there, roll into the back. Just want to keep it nice and calm. Ski, ski, Hayagaishi. That's it. Nice. Great. Nice. Nice. Good, roll, good. I'll show you one tendency with this, which is also when I start to go into a bit more flowing work, there's a tendency for this to happen. It starts to creep in, and it's a bit where the form naturally goes. But for the moment, I want to just hold it. I want to hold it a bit more in the basics. So just watch. There's a tendency in this case to start to blur the distinction between the ski and the Hayagaishi work. So the ski starts to lose its definition, starts to lose its clarity. So keep the kind of crystal clarity from the Kihon, and then feed the Hayagaishi into it. So I want to still make a kind of pause, a kind of boom, boom, blah. So really make that kind of distinction very clear. And I want to really fully commit to the ski. Find the pause in it and then fully commit into the Hayagaishi. Finish the Hayagaishi and then fully commit into the rotation. 1, 2, 3. Really commit the whole body into it. That's it. That's good. Oh. That's it. Great. Super, dude. Good. Right. Okay, we'll go into Hasso. So we're going to do just the first few. Just if you're not familiar with it, we're just going to go like this. So you're in Kinkamai. You're just going to roll the body back and just come to this position. So the first few, I'm just practicing feeding through. So if you want, you can also do this with the full size Joe. So won't matter about the feeling in this case. So what I'm just practicing in this case is just feeding through the body. So it's a little bit like you're going to make a block with it. We're going to cut this movement down a lot next, but just get the sense that you roll from the axis down. And again, don't worry about what the Joe's doing. You're going to feed it through the hands, but just really go to the center of the body. So you start in Kenkamai, just get the sense that you can just roll back, roll the body through. And the key point in this, the key part of this is that very, very, very first moment, that split second of movement, of how you initiate the movement back. Again, don't worry too much what's happening with the jaw. That's it. That's it. See if you can imagine someone just pushing the body. So if you think about someone's in, this is classic Aikido, I don't want to resist the movement. So I don't want to like push into it and then be pushed back. Okay, and I also don't want to be really disturbed by the push. So I don't want this to happen. I don't want them to push me and the body get blown out. So what I want to do is like, if I'm working in non-resistance or I'm working with blending work, I want to like feel the push, seal it to the body and then just accept it. So imagine someone's in front of you, just pushing through, and you just allow the push to happen and receive it through the body. I don't want to be disturbed by it. I don't want to resist it. I don't want to stop it. I just want to let it move the body. So you can imagine a push, and you can imagine like a really strong wind just coming in, boom, just push through. And I either get blown away by the wind, or I'll just allow the wind to carry me to my next position. Boom, no problem. So it's that kind of feeling. Just imagine you get kind of blown back. It's quite difficult to practice non-resistance without a kind of feedback system, without a partner. But there are ways to train it. I want to be not in resistance to the ground. I want to be not in resistance to the Joe. I want to be not in resistance to my own body. All these things I want to be not resisting. And this goes back to, again, connection work, or if you think about a push, it's not going to like build up in the body and then go. If you think about a push, or if you think about a ski, it's going to come into the body and it's not going to stop. It's just going to go through the body. Now you either move with it or you resist it. But just get a sense that, watch, I can do like this. I can build it up, but I've not really gone anywhere. I'm still on the same spot. So in this case, really get a sense that that very first moment, the whole body's going back. Everything goes back. One thing goes, everything goes. Or I do like a kind of and then go. So it's not like a process. It's just like boom. It's the boom. You go back. You get pushed back. And in this case, you just step back. You do it yourself, but if you can get it. Oh, there we go. There we go. You got it. There we go. Now you're in. Boom. That's it, Roland. Good. Got it. That's it. That's it. Got it. Nice. Right, so just really bringing some feeling to the hands now. Again, you can do this with a normal size Joe. Just from here, again, get the feeling of being drawn back, and then I just want you to find this position. So you're going to now find the middle of the Joe, and I want you to not look at the Joe, but really feel it. So really feel when the hand passes there. Is this beyond the center? Yeah, that's the center of the Joe, and I just feel it. It's slightly in my peripheral vision, so I'm slightly looking at it, but I really want to feel like every time I just go, oh, center of the Joe, totally in the center. So just get this feeling now. You're gonna include this backward step with finding the center of the Joe. And again, just play a little bit with it, but it's mainly focused in the right hand. How does it get to the center? How does it get there? It goes wrong, it goes wrong. Now it's right in the center. So just play with it. See if you can just get it. And you want to get like exact, right in the center. There we go. Got it. Boom. Nice. Okay, and then just really focusing on the left hand now. You're gonna really doing something, but it's very kind of specific. It's just kind of opening onto the jaw. So now this hand's not going to shift at all. So I really want to, again, I want to position myself very minimalistically. Just there. So that hand is really just doing one thing. You've got that, and it's just opening the contact up. But there's like a flexibility through the system. So it's not just a case of opening the hand. It's something happening by a connection with the hip. So there's a lot of movement in it, but it's quite subtle. That. So something's doing that. Something's doing that. Something's doing that. Something's kind of open. And again, it's a preparation so that I can just start to slide the jaw, slide the hand through the jaw. But just set that up. Really, really simple move. Okay. Just look at one detail and you can play with it, but I'll explain a kind of logic to it of what you can do. There's a way we teach beginners to do the hasso because it's a very complex movement. We teach usually beginners to do it like this. You go here to the side and then roll it up. Something like this. So we usually teach something like this for the hasso. So draw it to the side and then just push it down. Now it all happens here. So all the movement happens here. But that doesn't really work functionally. So what I want to do in that movement, that first movement, is cover the body. So it's got a sense where it's covering the center line. It's not happening here. You can do that and it's going to travel through that path, but just see if you can get the sense that if there's an attack coming in, either block it or adapt that later to strike with it. But it's going to be done through the center this way. So just get a sense, just play with it a little bit. I can be here as I do it, where I'm kind of twisted out. I'm open on this flank of the body, or there. Something more there. So something more, I feel the jaw is actually protecting the body. So just look for that. And it's not exact, and it depends on the context. I just want you to feel that there's a really connection between the hands, the center, and the kind of protecting the center line of the body. And if you've got a shorter stick, you might want to get it now. That's it. There we go. Tricky. Yeah, tricky. That's it. Sure. Good. Yeah, and just so you've got a kind of clear function of it, this movement is either, if you think about a lot of kumijo work we do, that is either blocking a ski, so blocking against the ski and kind of pressing down, and then I roll up into the hasso position. Or it's used functionally as like a strike, so it's used as like a strike to the temple. So da-da-da-da, and then rolling back up. So it's actually the same movement, but it's just got a slightly different emphasis. Just put the body in a different, like very ever so slightly different configuration. But just get the feeling that you're actually, that movement's functional. So that the hasso is totally a functional movement. It's not, but it's also really aesthetic. But it's not just aesthetic. It looks great. I know when people do it well, but it's also got a function to it. And that function is either as a blocking, protecting movement, or it's as a like striking out movement coming to here. So just get that quality where your intention is to actually protect the center as you go back. That's it. There we go. And it just gives the movement a different flavor. It's not just spinning the jaw around the body. There we go. There we go. Got it. There we go. Nice. So next step, you're just going to come here, and then what I want you to do is just roll back, find this position, and then you're going to just, what I want you to do is, what I want to avoid is like not moving the feet and doing this with the body. So I think all the time, footwork, handwork, there's always going to be a complementary movement. So you've got this, feet and hands, and then as you go to this movement, feet and hands. Roll up. So we're going to go to this modified hasso. Later we will go to that position, but just for now, just go here, one, and then from here, foot and hand together. And you're just going to finish in that modified position. Here, one, two, foot and hand. If you get kind of a bit lost with it, just think Every movement of the foot has a kind of complementary movement in the hand. Yeah. Tricky. There we go. Good. Okay, and again, look for the function of the movement, or look for the kind of logic of the movement. What am I actually doing when I do that hasso? Again, it can be like a fancy position. It looks great. There's all these nice pictures with us sensei doing hasso work. It can kind of have this kind of feeling, but get the feeling that there's going to be some movement coming from it. So it's a position or function. I'm in a kamae. So I want the jo to be really integrated into the system. It shouldn't feel like it's like here, somewhere totally disconnected, or somewhere like here, totally too high. Just get a sense that it's really loaded into the structure. It's just that. And then what I want to feel just very easily, you're going to go from this position, open the hand out, strike through. So you're going to now do this. You're going to go back, 1, really do this in step 2, really feel the jaws connect to the center, and then 3, release it. So then really do this in 3 steps. 1, 2, not that, 3. Really use the pauses to kind of check the system. And again, just keep thinking, what is the function of it? What am I really doing when I do this movement? It's never just a movement. There we go. This is hasso uchi. Slightly modified. That's it. Got it, good. Yeah, and if you've got a high enough ceiling, you can also do the kind of classic form. So it's also a really nice form. I'll see if I can show you with the lighter one. But you've got the classic form where you come to this position. You come here, so that it's much more open. So it's like this, rather than being here, it's like this, much more open. So if you've got the ceiling height, also experiment with this position. This is the basic form. It's that, and then opening it out that way. If you've got short ceiling, we've got a short ceiling. If you've got a long person and a short ceiling, that position, and then from here just open it out. If you've got a high ceiling, play with both forms. I would be doing the other one if I could, but. Damn. That's nice. Good. Very nice. Great. Okay, good. So we'll start to look at it a little bit more like your AIKIKAI flexible move. If you feel like uncomfortable with it, always feel free, you can drop down the level. So I can always go back to Kihon. And I do all the time. It's just the way the system works. So what I want to focus on now is get away from the hands and the feet and just go to like hip work, center work. So what I want to feel now, you've got the movements in place. We've done a lot of 1, 2, 3, all this kind of stuff, hands and feet. Just get a sense now that you can just move the body from the center. So the hip's going to go hip, 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 hip. So just think all the time now, engage hip, 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 hip. And just think of it like this every time. Now the body cannot move unless I move the hips. So I can't move the hand on its own. I can't move the foot on its own. It's all got to go together. Together. And that's easier if I put the focus just on the hips, for me. And when you've got a hakama on, it's really great because I can focus on the hip, put the concentration there, and the whole band of the body in the koshi goes boom, lights up. This is really why I use the hakama. So it's, again, not just style, although it looks stylish too. Hips, go. And really you're looking at the center work, but it's a bit easier to look at hips. What are the hips doing? Gives me a bit more of an anchor. What is the hip doing? What are the hips doing? That's it, Keith. Good. Got it. Got it. Good. Nice. Good. And it's at this level also where I really need to know whether I'm going beyond my abilities. So if I'm working out of connection, or if I'm, for example, always starting in the hand, I either have a teacher who will constantly bring me down, or I start to do it myself. Ideally, I do it myself because it's just easier in the long run, and I can basically train on my own. But just be really fanatic about whether I go hands, or whether you try and get the sense that they're hip. And really be really like ruthless with yourself, because not everyone will be with you. You've got to be it to yourself. So that's the kind of thing. I've got to be really fanatic about it, and really, and it's not in a way like I'm being bad. I'm going to punish myself. I just notice it. Oh, start in the hand. See if I can get more center. Can I move the hip first? So it's just again going to question and stuff. What am I really doing? There we go. There we go. Great. Good. Nice. Nice. Good. Nice. Very nice. So you could obviously take this into Kina Nagari work. So you go like fully fluid movement. It's quite tricky, but it's like rolling straight through. Now, all that stuff needs to be really pretty much in place before I go to that level, because it just falls apart otherwise. So we're not going to go there today, but what we're going to do is like just open the movement out a little bit. So I want you to play with the hasso. I just want you to take a position and then feel that you can go either back, straight back with the hasso. You can also go to the side. You can also go to the back, but just take a position and then go, I'm going to go here. Or I take a position, I'm going to go here. You just go to that level and just play with the angle of the hasso. You can just go back, you can go forward, you can go to the side, you can rotate. Just really play with it, open the movement out a little bit. Obviously tricky in a small space, but see if you can kind of contain. Ouch. Don't break anything. Good. Nice. And just play with the shomanuchi as well. If you feel any other movement come up, just follow it. Much more about now the freedom in the rotation. Boom. Good. So there's a few ways you can work with this in terms of freedom or freedom of footwork. You can keep changing it. So I can, if I'm looking for a new place, I go here, I go here, not quite right, I go here, and I keep searching all the time. Or I stick to the same place and I keep going back up. So I go duk-dung, duk-dung, duk-dung. For me, this method's more powerful because I keep going into the problem again. So I say like do 3 or 4 the same angle. So if I go like to the back, and then come back to the back. And every time I'm trying to refine it more and more, make it more easy, make it more simple, make it more heavy. So for me, that's a better way to train than keeping changing it. Obviously, that's also a good method, but I've got a limited time. I'm going to just pick an option and go there. Good. And if you find it quite easy, choose a really difficult position, really rotating fully, like 3/4. Really test the body. There we go. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, the big problem with freedom, especially with this, is I lose the form. So the form disintegrates. So the function of the form goes like, what am I doing? So again, really think that what you're doing is using it as a block or a strike movement. So when you're doing this movement, it's not just about spinning and spinning the jaw. This is like really superficial. Really feel that what you're doing something. So you're blocking something to the back, or you're striking someone. Yeah. So really try and maintain the freedom, but keep the function of the form really, really, really clear. Just there. Last few. So it's always going to go back to function all the time. There we go. Great. Nice. Great. Nice. Okay, this last minute or so, just play with any form you like. So you can use the ski, you can use the hayagaishi, you can use the roll back, you can use the gerangaishi, roll back. Just really play with everything, but get a sense of kind of freedom of movement. So you can really just rotate, do anything you like within the form and within the function of the form. So play with it. Just allow yourself to follow your own body a little bit. Oh. Whoosh. Whoosh. And if any other movement comes up, just follow it. Listen to your own body. There we go. If you want to go a bit faster, go a bit faster. If you want to go complex, go complex. If you want to go fluid, go fluid. Totally your choice. Nice. Just about 20 seconds or so. Whoosh. Whoosh. There we go. Got it, got it, got it. Great. Okie dokie. Good. So that's pretty much it. So my intention with these classes is not only to give you forms, it's to give you the logic of the system so that you can experiment with it and you can know how to game the system. Because there's ways you can work it, and if you don't know about it, you won't kind of be able to play with it. So know how to play the system, basically. Find the holes in the net and find where the system falls apart, play with it, and play with your own relationship to the forms. That's ultimately what it's all about. So play with that. Okay, so. Domo, arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you, Michael.
Very good, thanks a lot.